Welcome to It's Tea Time. Now we're going to talk a little bit of golf. Speaking of tea times, the men's golf team. Tell us a little about what you guys got on tap.
Well, we got done with our final regular season event. Did not have a very good performance in Mississippi State at Old Waverly, but you know it's a good thing. You learn more from failure than you do success every time. It's been written numerous times that you do that. You tend to listen a little bit louder when you make mistakes, and we made a ton of them this past week. But the good thing is it wasn't conference and it wasn't regional, so we'll learn from it, get better this week, and then get ready to leave on Friday for the Raven down at Sandestin and the Sun Belt Conference Championships.
And now for a team that has had such success throughout the season to have this little, I guess, speed bump,
Right.
is that a coaching tool, I guess, at this point?
Well, you know, the players understand it. They get it. They, you know, golf, you play bad golf. I mean, we all watched the Masters this week and saw who finally played pretty good again, Tiger, who's had some speed bumps. I mean, that's just the way our sport is. You're going to have, you know, slumps. You're going to have off times when you're not really that bad. When you're not hitting it particularly great, you could be good. And that's just part of our sport. I mean, the guys have played well enough this year where they understand, they get it. They just need to continue to work and take care of today. And, you know, that conference championship will take care of itself when the time comes on Tuesday.
And now, of course, when you've got conference right here in your sights, what does that mean to you and the players to be so close to having this potentially the end of the season right there?
Right. Well, they need to handle, you know, today, practicing today here at our place on Monday, and let day-to-day take care of itself. It's definitely going to be in the back of their minds. They want to win a championship. They want to win a ring, you know, for themselves, for their parents, for their school. I mean, they want to get it done, and there's no doubt they feel like they have an opportunity to do that. And you know, the good thing is they've got the tools necessary, and they just need to handle themselves. And you know, our sport, you can't play defense. You can only play offense, and we've got to go take what we want if we want to go get it. We've got to take it from the other teams.
And talk about preparation for conference, because obviously you've played your tournaments throughout the year. What do you do as a coach, and the players do as players, to prepare for a specific tournament like this?
Well, a little bit of it's rest, you know, making sure we don't do too much this week and overemphasize conference and make it, you know, bigger than what it is. I mean, it's another event. It's the same 54 holes. It's another golf course, and we've seen just about every team that's going to be there, and we know we're one of the best teams, and that's a good thing. But you're going to think about that. I mean, these guys are 22 to 18. They're going to think about winning a trophy. I mean, that's just part of being young, and that's good. They see Jordan Spieth, 21 years old, a guy that ought to be a senior at Texas, win the Masters yesterday. They want a piece of that too, whatever their piece may be, as small or big as it is. And you know, they've got to channel that energy though into practice and preparation and getting ready and getting better before we leave for the Raven. And you know, for that sense, you know, you try not to dictate too much this week. You know, little tee shot practice. You know, working on getting the ball off the tee, putting it in play. It's going to be wet, so we're going to practice every day. I don't care how wet it is or how muddy. That's the beautiful thing about having an on-course facility. There's only a couple of people that says, hey, you got to stay off of it, you know, and luckily I'm one of them. So, you know, for that purpose, you know, it's going to be nice having that.
And of course, you mentioned facing off against a lot of the conference opponents throughout the season. What kind of benefits are there in the fact that you faced off against a number of these opponents already?
Well, they know what they're like. I mean, we've seen Georgia Southern once this year. They beat us by 3 at Kiel, our first event, their first event. And, you know, the guys feel like that they're just as good, if not better, than that team. Now, which team shows up, we don't know. You know, from their standpoint, we can't take care of Georgia Southern and what their coaching staff has done. But, you know, they know that if they peg it and do what they're supposed to do, they're going to be in the hunt come Tuesday morning when we wake up. And they're going to have a chance to win themselves a ring and a trophy and bring that back to Troy. And that's a good thing. You know, there's other teams, Georgia State, who beat us pretty good the last time we saw them. But they, you know, they're beatable as well because we've beaten them a couple times this year. So, you know, we'll see. Anything can happen over 54 holes. And, you know, I think if we play smart, do what we're supposed to, we'll wake up Tuesday with an opportunity.
Of course, here's hoping that the team has continued success leading up to the conference tournament here that they've seen throughout the season. Hopefully they'll be able to wrap it up with a nice little bow and maybe see a little bit of extra play after the conference tournament.
Definitely. We're looking forward to it.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, and good luck in the conference championships.
Thank you.
Thanks. And stay tuned for a little bit more about what's going on in Trojan Athletics here on It's Tea Time. Welcome back to It's Tea Time. We're talking a little track and field. Big weekend for you guys. Hit the road, conference opponent, and picked up a tournament win. So talk a little about that.
It was great. Everybody came together. People competed very, very well. I think we had 5 wins in that. And basically what I've been preaching all year is you beat the people you're supposed to beat, and then if you step up, you'll beat other people that maybe you're not supposed to beat on paper. And that's what happened. So it was good. We scored a lot of points.
And now, at this point in the season, as a conference tournament is looming down the stretch there, it's got to be good to be able to pick up a meet like this, getting so close to the tournament.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're building confidence at that point. You're getting a chance to let those kids that are going to score points for you score some points in a smaller meet and just beat, like I said, beat the people that you're supposed to beat.
And now, talk a little bit about what you've got coming up this weekend. You're staying in the state. Like past 2 weeks, you've been in Auburn.
Yep.
Went to Mobile, and now you're headed back to Auburn again. So,
Yes.
so close road trips.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to Auburn. It's very, very fast track. We're looking forward to getting there. There'll be some very, very good competition too. So we're looking forward to getting them into bigger, competitive situations and getting them running fast, jumping far.
And so, and with this, how do you build off of getting a win like you did this past weekend? Do you keep that success? Is it something that you work on? Is there pluses, minuses you got to work on at that point?
I mean, basically, right now we're just sticking with the plan. With me, we go with a lot of volume early in the season, and then we just start to drop down. And right now, we're coming down off of that, trying to get people healthy or keeping them healthy, and getting them to run fast and just do the right things with them.
And I know I've spoken with you in the past about the fact of, with this, there's a lot of conditioning planning involved in here. And as you get farther down the stretch about worrying about the health of the players. And so have you gotten to that point where you're kind of worried, getting concerned about keeping players healthy at this point?
At this point, with all the events that we have, the money's in the bank at this point in terms of fitness. Now we're just trying to, like you said, keep people healthy, make people faster and taper and peak at the right time. And if we can do that, you'll see some big things in the next couple weeks. All
right, and then heading to Auburn this weekend, you mentioned what kind of competition you expecting up there?
It's going to be tough. I think there's going to be some fast teams like there were last time, and I'm looking forward to it. Anytime you go into a school like Auburn, you're going to get some good competition. So that's what I'm really looking forward to.
Well, here's hoping that you do get some good competition and pick up another win this weekend for the team, and as you head down the stretch to the end of the season. So good luck this weekend.
Appreciate it.
And then stay tuned for a little bit more of what's going on in Trojan Athletics on It's Tea Time. Welcome back to It's Tea Time. Joining me for this segment, talk a little baseball, Brad Phillips, assistant coach. First off, the week ended with a big series win, but earlier on in the week, a little bit of a downfall. Talk a little about the week leading into that.
Yeah, we had Kennesaw coming in for midweek, and we have not had, very much fortune in midweeks to this point. Had a really good game going against them. Really couldn't punch any runs across. Pitched well. Had a pick-me-up from Corey Childress, who struggled last weekend conference series, but he come in and rebounded well, threw really well, but just couldn't get enough runs across the run to plate to pull that one off. So, it was a rough start to the week, but like you said, we did finish up very well.
And you finish off with a conference series sweep. It's been a while since there's been a conference series sweep here. Talking about the excitement and the benefit of having this conference sweep here.
Well, we're midway point of the conference season, so every game counts right now, and to get a sweep, I read something last night, we hadn't had a sweep since 13, I think, FIU. So they're hard to come by, and when they do come, it is definitely a pick-me-up throughout the course of the season, kind of make up a little bit for the road sweep at Lafayette back to start the conference. So kind of get us back to where we needed to be. I think that was our fifth straight conference win, series win. And then, of course, to do it with a sweep was just that much better.
And, of course, how crucial this sweep was to you as a team, the fact of where you went ranking-wise in the conference from the beginning of the weekend to the end of the weekend. You had a 4-spot swing, right?
Well, we made a big jump in the rankings, I guess you can call it, standings of the conference. And that's what you got to do this time of year. You got to do whatever you can to get those wins because this year in conference the parity is so tight that every one of them is so big. And to finish the halfway point with 9 wins, I think is we're on the right track. We're scratching and clawing for every W that we can get. It's different ways that the way we're winning from game to game, but at the end of the day, it's about the W.
And of course, this past weekend saw a lot of close action. But what did you see out of this weekend out of the team that you're going to be able to take down the road?
Well, we're getting solid starts on Friday and Saturday, which is helping. We got a combination of about 17 innings between 2 guys on Saturday, which was originally the Friday night game. So you go into a doubleheader and you got 18 innings to play, and you're getting 17 innings from 2 guys, your starters. That definitely helps. So we definitely need those guys, Grant Bennett and Lucas Brown, to continue what they're doing in games 1 and 2. And then manufacturing runs is something that we've kind of had to turn to from an offensive standpoint. Sunday was a great example of it. We're down 3-2 in the 8th. 4 safety squeeze attempts with the bases loaded. 3 were successful. 1 turned into a walk, which gave us a 4-run lead. So we're having to, like I said, scratch and claw on some of those runs to do everything we can to punch one across. But as long as we continue pitching like we are right now and trying to find ways to score in critical times of the game, I hope that, and we hope that continues to just gain momentum as we get into the second half of conference.
And of course, talking about the conference play, and you mentioned there the parity in the conference, and you look at the standings across the board, and there's not a single team that really seems to stand out this season. Everyone's kind of beating up on everybody else
Right.
in the conference. So that's got to be a plus in a way, because, for someone who started the weekend, a team that started at 8th place, and now you're at 4th place, that's got to be something that you can work on and build off of.
It is, and you look and you're not that far out of, if everything would have fell right this weekend, there was a chance we could have been leading the pack. So, 2 games out, I believe is what we are at this point. It's going to be a wild second half of the conference, but you just, the old saying, you got to take it one at a time, and kind of let it fall and how it's going to fall. And the series sweep this weekend definitely went a long ways.
And of course, talking about conference play, you've got to hit the road for a conference opponent this coming up weekend. Talk a little about that matchup.
Long trip out to Arlington. They're kind of in that group of teams that are right there in the mix, can go either way, and so we've got our work cut out for us. Long flight out back, and but this team has going up to App State 2 weeks ago. We're a long trip. We were able to do what we needed to do to come out with a series win, and that's what we've got to do this weekend.
Keep getting those conference wins, because the ever so crucial end of the season is barreling upon it, and you can see that you want to be able to make sure that you're in that conference tournament.
It's getting closer, and we've got to do what we can to position ourselves the best possible position, hosting the conference tournament, to give us a chance, for the automatic bid there toward the end. But it's our team is starting to find some ways of how they can produce, and just like this weekend, we're having to create more. It's very different than normal Troy baseball teams in the past, but we are starting to find ways to score runs, and we've got to keep the pitching where it is right now to give us a chance. And if we can do that, like I said, it should be a fun ride toward the end of the season.
Well, here's hoping continued success, and then hopefully hit that road and get another series sweep this weekend on the road. Thanks for joining us.
Sounds great.
Stay tuned for what's more about what's going on in Trojan sports on It's Tea Time. Welcome back to It's Tea Time. In this segment, Scott Kidd joins me, talk a little men's tennis, and a big week for men's tennis. Start off with a big road match last Thursday against a ranked opponent. Talk about how big that was, especially this late in the season.
It was big, number one, because they're ranked ahead of us. Going into conference, you want to try to get that number 1 seed. Even though we're undefeated, the way it's set up is the team with the highest ITA ranking gets that number 1 seed. So right now we have one team ranked ahead of us that we've actually beaten. So it was really big to beat a ranked team on the road, because you get more points. North Florida's had a great year. They've played some big top 20 teams close, and the guys went down there and came out from the starting doubles, clinched the doubles point, and then of course went right through the singles. And it was a really big win. They played exceptionally well on Thursday.
And of course, that leads up to the last home game, home match for the team. Senior Day, had a chance to honor your lone senior on the team. So what was it like moving into that last home match?
Well, I think it's tough. You know, a guy like Gabriel Diaz, you can't replace a kid like him. He's definitely been a leader on the court for the last 2 years. It was an emotional day for him. You know, kind of coming to the end of his college career. You know, you always kids they don't realize how fast it goes by. But he had a tough match. You know, he was down 9-4 in that third set tiebreak. The guy had you know, like 6 match points. Gabriel won 8 straight points to win that 11-9. It was a huge comeback, and I think that's big for him going into conference this week to have that big win in singles. And of course, the team. You know, we lost twice last year to UAB. And you know, to beat UAB 6-1 yesterday was a huge booster going to the conference tournament this week.
And of course, having the opportunity to win on the home court in front of the home crowd, that last match of the season, it's got to be a confidence booster.
It definitely is, because you know, the guys are always excited when their friends and family come out to support them, and to finish off the season with a win like we did. I thought we played, you know, really well yesterday. Was big for the guys. I think they needed that little extra booster headed into this week at conference. You know, conference is going to be tough. You know, they understand that everybody's going to be starting with a clean slate, and you know, I think anybody can win the conference. You know, if you look at the conference, everybody's beating everybody. We're the only ones that stand alone undefeated, but that means nothing going into conference. So we're taking it seriously. We're going to take it match by match, and you know, hopefully on Sunday, you know, we will be in the finals holding the trophy.
And of course, let's talk a little about conference play. A little unusual for tennis because, unlike most of the other sports, you don't really see a lot of the other teams that much until you get to conference play.
Right. We're lucky this year to have gotten to play all the teams except for one. We have not played Lafayette, so we kind of had, you know, we've kept good notes and stuff, so we know what to expect going to the tournament. So for us, we've been preparing, kind of looking ahead at the draw, because we kind of know the layout and everything, who we possibly could play according to our seating. So helps us as a coaching staff to have our notes ready, and of course, when whatever team we play, that we're, you know, most of all, we're mentally ready for that match. So, but you know, it is, you know, I think, you know, when you get down here, these teams are hungry. They're all wanting, you know, a piece of us, of course, because we're being undefeated. You know, they're all after us, and they have nothing to lose. That's the thing about going to conference. You know, nothing to lose, and you know, I think by the end of the day that we've got to go down there with you know, with a really set mind to hopefully produce our best and be consistent. That's the key with this team, is that we continue to be consistent on the court with our, you know, decisions, shot selections, in court position, and continue to be an aggressive team on the court like I like them to be.
Well, here's hoping that you can continue that undefeated streak as you go through the conference tournament and see where we can go from there. So.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure. So, you know, we definitely, I've told the guys, let's forget about, the season's over with now. So it's basically like starting from day one. So that's, you know, that's the mindset we have, you know, we'll be leaving out Wednesday, headed down there.
Well, good luck in the tournament, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us for this week's It's Tea Time. We hope you join us again next week for more of what's going on in Trojan Athletics.